Good evening. Welcome everyone to the broadcast. Welcome everyone. My name is Jerry McPherson, Director of Economic Empowerment for the Greater Phoenix Urban League. I want to welcome you today to our next career showcase. We have a very special opportunity available to you all out there in attendance. So if you know anyone, high school graduate, college graduate, mid-career, looking for a career change, looking for a career opportunity, you're going to want to tag them right now in the comments and get them to the broadcast. Share the link out with them. Like, comment, share. Let the word know that you're with us. We got a very special opportunity that we want to communicate to our community members so they can get involved and take advantage of this and possibly start themselves and get on the path for a new career. Again, like, comment, share. Let the word know that you're with us. We have a very special broadcast ahead of us. We'll be learning from the team. We were learning from Christy Vanek about Senior Manager for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion for the Otis Elevator Company, and representatives from the National Elevator Industry Educational Program to learn about this apprenticeship opportunity that we have for you today. Again, please like, comment, share. Let the word know that you're with us. We'll be getting started in just a moment. This very small window, there's a very small application window for this opportunity running from December 1st through the 15th. We want to make sure that as many people who are interested and eligible and are qualified to apply for it, do so and take advantage of this very lucrative opportunity. Without any further ado, I would like to introduce Christy Vanek, Senior Manager of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion for the Otis Elevator Company. Christy, welcome to the broadcast.
Thank you, Jerry, and hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. We're so excited to talk with you today about the elevator industry and an opportunity to become an elevator apprentice, which leads to the path of becoming an elevator mechanic. So as Jerry mentioned, my name's Christy Vanek. I'm a Senior Manager of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion at Otis Elevator Company. I'm joined this evening by Twinkie Chai, who's one of our branch managers in California, as well as by Doug. I'm not going to try to say her last name because I know I'll get it wrong, but we're also joined by Doug, who is our branch manager in Phoenix. So we're so excited to be sharing this opportunity with you today. So a little bit about me. I've been in the elevator industry for just under a year, and I can tell you it's such a welcoming, exciting place to be. I'm really passionate about the mobility that we bring to communities and to cities around the U.S. as well as around the world. So I'm going to hand it over to Doug and Twinkie to introduce themselves here. So Twinkie, would you like to go first?
Yeah, sure. Hello, everybody. Nice to meet you today. My name is Twinkie Chai. I oversee Northern California for Otis Elevator Company. I've been in the industry for about 13 years now. Definitely not something I thought I would get into, but it's been a great experience for me. So nice to meet you guys.
Doug?
And good evening, everyone. My name is Doug Hebner. I'm the general manager for Otis Elevator in Phoenix, Arizona. Very excited to talk to you guys today about the elevator industry in general, certainly in detail about the apprenticeship program that's available through our union. Personally, I've been in the elevator business for 23 years. I've been in various roles in the business in various departments. So I love the business. It has just become part of my DNA, if you will, and excited to share our experiences with you today.
Wonderful. So we do have some slides that Jerry's going to pull up here. And there they are. Okay, awesome. We have a great technology system tonight. And just for the audience's full awareness, Twinkie, Doug, and I are from Otis Elevator Company. And the apprenticeship that we're sharing with you today is actually a joint partnership between the union and between the National Elevator Industry Education Program. And all of the major elevator companies participate in this apprenticeship program. So if you apply for this opportunity, it's getting you in the door potentially with Otis, but also potentially with one of our competitors. So although you only have to submit one application, your name is getting out there in front of all of the major elevator companies. So Twinkie, I think you're going to kick us off tonight.
Okay. All right. Can we move on to the next slide, please? All right. So today we're talking about like why you should join the elevator trade. You see a lot of iconic buildings out there, but we really got started because we needed to move people up and down buildings, and skylines really didn't start changing until we were able to do that in an efficient manner. If you could go on to the next slide. And so I think what's really, really important is that we help build skylines, right? It's one of the few industries that are still out there where you can be driving down the street with your kids or with some friends, and you can point to a building and say, hey, I was a part of that project, whether you were actually in the construction area, actually building and installing it through the rails, modernizing the elevator, or even providing maintenance on the elevator. All these things lead to the ability for us to give people freedom to connect and thrive in a taller, faster, smarter world. Now, the last part, the smarter world, I don't think historically that's kind of been linked to the elevator trade, but there's a lot of new technologies that are out there that are allowing us to do more things in the elevator. So I would say sky's the limit. We're going to be talking about the apprenticeship, but also if you're into, call it like the techie type work that we're able to do, like through, for instance, like being able to use destination dispatching, etc. This definitely is a field for you. So let's go on to the next slide. So look, you're going to start in field services. And like I said, it could be in construction, it could be in modernization, it could be in repair or maintenance. But I think the interesting thing, no matter which field that you start in, is that you kind of build a reputation and a brand for yourself. You work directly with our customers. So that could be a general contractor, that could be a property manager, and you end up becoming their elevator expert, right? They're going to come to you saying, hey, I've heard this on this floor. Can you take a look at it? And through time and working with the same customers, what you're also going to be is you're also going to kind of become their consultant and saying, hey, look, you may want to look into these upgrades in the future. So it's almost like you're running your own little business too. So if you're somebody that likes to work with their hands, this is the field for you. If you like to talk to people, if you like the social aspect of working with the team, this definitely is interesting for you, or the industry for you. I think last but not least, I would be remiss by not mentioning what we're doing, right? We're here to help build, install, construct, service elevators to keep the riding public safe. So it is a very, very important job that we have out there. I mean, we're right there next to first responders, in case of crisis and emergencies. And so there's a lot of great things that this field enables you to do. And you'll be able to tap on not only like I said, the technical aspect, but there's also like the emotional aspect and the social aspect too of the role. Okay. But so along with all those great things in regards to working with your hands, building the skyline, it is a well-paying job. So what you can see on the left-hand side is the average median wages for somebody in the elevator industry is almost double in regards to if you're looking at other construction trades, right? And if you think about it, you think about even if you were to go to college, is it realistic for you to go to college and come out making $90,000 or $88,000? Maybe, maybe not. You probably then will have some school loans to have to pay back, and that's never fun. But in this industry, what you do is you go through an apprenticeship program, and Doug is going to get into the details in a couple slides. But you actually are working at the same time, so it's really on-the-job training. It is training by NEI. Or NEEP, that Christy referred to previously. And then also the company that you work for, they're also be providing training. The mechanic that you're going to be working alongside with you will be also training you as well. So I think the good thing to highlight here is that, look, it's not just in construction, it's a well-paying job, just over it's not just a well-paying job in construction. It is a well-paying job in above and beyond what typical constructors would make. The other thing is that it is also, like I said, you go through an apprenticeship program, and basically once you graduate from the program, you are making mechanics wages. Next. And then, but in addition to that, I think what is really phenomenal about this industry and the union is that they provide a pension, they provide an annuity plan. Not all companies nowadays do that. They also have one of the best health benefits plans that are out there. So it's not just pay, and all of a sudden you have to pay for, keep all these savings in order to make sure that you have like a strong, succession plan in the future. It all comes together, and so this is another great thing that you would be entitled to if you were to join. The other thing I wanted to highlight, though, is it's also the Employee Scholar Program. I mean, they have programs where they help you get degrees, and some of the classes that you take, you get credit for them as part of calling an associate degree or bachelor degree. In addition to that, some of the elevator companies will also pay for additional schooling if you do that. So, and that kind of varies from company to company, but it's just something to keep in mind in regards to what is possible if you're able to join the elevator trade. And last but not least, it is a very stable industry. Now, people, we build buildings, we maintain buildings, unfortunately, at some point, maybe the building has to be torn down, but an elevator will still have to be in there. So the point of this slide is to just show you that, look, it's a very stable industry. The job look is very favorable for it. The other thing to keep in mind is that, look, there's people that are also retiring from this industry. So not only are we looking to just add people to grow the industry, we're also looking to get more people, because some of the people that have been in the industry for the 30, 40, 50 years, it's time for them to retire. So looking to engage more talent in order to try to, grow and do more. Because I would say, because we're in elevator, sky's the limit, right? That kind of thing. The other thing is that, while we are part of construction has its ups and downs, but even in the downturn, what we've seen is that we've been able to keep our field force busy. Because what happens is, if there's a downturn in construction, what tends to happen is there are upticks in other parts of our business, such as modernization. So, for example, right now with COVID, there's been, maybe a little bit of a stall in construction. But what we've also seen is, in the modernization business, now is the time where people want to, as buildings are empty, put more resources into their buildings and get their building upgraded. So great industry to be in. Like I said, you're part of the skyline. You get to work with your hands. You get to have a social aspect to your job. The third thing is it's well paying. Fourth, it's you have great benefits. And lastly, it is a very stable industry. So with that, I'll turn this over to Doug to talk about the apprenticeship in more detail.
Thank you, Twinkie. So I wanted to take a few slides to really dive into kind of the nuts and bolts, if you will, of the apprenticeship program. And I would also like to echo Twinkie's comments about, the IUEC apprenticeship program, the entry point, the field entry point, if you will, into the elevator business. It's such a great program. It's such a great opportunity for folks to advance into the industry, into what I believe is a great industry and offers a tremendous amount of upside. So as I go through this, I want to emphasize that this really is one of the better trades that are available. And there's just a tremendous amount of growth, and it's really what you make of it. And there's just tremendous amount of opportunity. So as we look in detail in the apprenticeship program, so the apprenticeship program is a very structured program that is part of each local IUEC union. And it's a program that ensures that every elevator mechanic has the proper training to be successful and safe. So as you're hired on in an apprentice role, you will, throughout that apprenticeship period, you will be going to class, and you will be going through class modules that are delivered by NEEP. And so an example of a module that you may go through in an apprenticeship program would be an electrical module. You may go through a circuitry module, a module on how to read wiring diagrams, or a mechanical module. So you will continue to advance through that all through your apprenticeship program. And I think the greatest part about it is that as you work your way through this apprenticeship program, you're making a great living, you're getting paid for it, and you're doing your classwork with your coworkers from various companies and the company you may work for at night. It's one night a week. I think some locals have gone back to in-person class. We were for a while doing the virtual thing due to COVID, but definitely some camaraderie developed in that apprenticeship classwork format. Next slide, please. An example of some job duties, and I'll kind of take a step back before we start talking about the job duties. In our industry, there really are, let's call it, three fundamental segments of our business. So we have the construction portion of our business, which is all new equipment installation. We have modernization. That's where we go in and we fundamentally make major upgrades to existing equipment. And then we have service and repair. Service and repair can be anything from repair work on existing equipment to the preventative maintenance of existing equipment. In each one of those segments, an apprentice role varies a little bit. But in general, an apprentice is going to be teamed up with a mechanic. So a two-person team. In the construction environment. In modernization, it would be the same thing, where an apprentice would be teamed up with a mechanic. And then in repair, for a repair, you would see a mechanic apprentice team. And then on the service side of it, you may see a service helper that may be supporting multiple route technicians, may be supporting various technicians throughout the service department. So it can vary a little bit. But in general, the apprentice's job duties can include manual movement of materials, cleaning of car tops, cleaning of machine rooms, pits, rails, manual painting of machine rooms and pits, maintaining lighting, looking for visual, audibly monitoring equipment to understand the operation. These duties become, a little bit more advanced as you work your way through the apprenticeship program, but it's a lot of assisting of the mechanic and really starting to think ahead in the industry and think to what's the next thing we're going to be working on, and how can I best prepare the job site for the next thing that we're going to do. Go ahead and go to the next slide. This slide kind of shows you the advancement in hourly pay and how you advance through the apprenticeship program. So if we start off from the left side of the slide, all apprentice, I'll start off from the beginning. So when you go through the application process, there's two pieces to the application process. There's going to be an interview, and then there's going to be a general aptitude test that's taken by each applicant. And then based upon interview results and aptitude test results, there will be some ranking in each local union. Based upon those rankings, apprentice will be hired into what we call the probationary apprentice, which is that first block. The probationary apprentice period lasts for a period of 6 months, which advances into the first year apprentice. And then we go from first year to second year to third year to fourth year. After you finish your fourth year apprenticeship program, you then have the opportunity to sit for your mechanics test, which once you pass your mechanics test, you advance on to being an elevator mechanic. All throughout this time period, you have the full health and retirement benefits that Twinkie talked about earlier. Those do kick in at the 6-month mark. So really the only time you don't have that full benefit package is in the probationary 6-month period. And again, pay rates are going to vary from city to city based upon cost of living. Career path. So, I didn't come into the business through the field career path. I actually came in through a sales career path. But there are many people that sit at my level within the organization that came through an apprentice career path and advanced their way up. The career path is really where you want to take it. I would say a traditional apprentice career path will result in mechanic that would advance into adjuster, foreman, continue to stay in the local IUEC career path route. But it's very important to also realize that there's opportunities outside of the field. We are always bringing in, field technicians, whether they're a mechanic or an adjuster, for roles such as a superintendent or supervisor, project managers that can advance. All of that can advance into a general manager status where you may be running a local office. So there's a tremendous amount of career path ahead of you. Again, it's really kind of about initiative, where you want to take it and what you're really interested in. Are you more interested in staying in the field side of it and perfecting your craft and your trade? There's a great career path associated with that. And if you get more interested in kind of the business side of it, there's a phenomenal career path associated with that as well. There's really great opportunities in this business. And like I said earlier, I like Twinkie, didn't think I would be in the elevator business when I was growing up, but I am very glad I'm in the elevator business. I love the business. I would encourage any of my family and friends to consider the business, which I think is a testament to the nature of the business and the industry. Thank you.
Thank you, Doug, and thanks, Twinkie. So now we're going to talk about how you can actually apply. And Jerry, just to confirm, can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear, Christy.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear. Christy, can you hear us?
Hey, Jerry, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear. Christy, we can hear you.
Hello?
Christy, we can hear you. Can you all hear me?
Okay, I hope you can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you, Christy. Christy, we can hear you. We can hear you. Twinkie or Doug, do you want to ping Christy and let her know that we can hear her?
Oh, okay, perfect. So it sounds like you can hear me. Thank you. So sorry for the technical issue there.
No worries.
We'll continue moving on. So we're going to talk now about how you can actually apply for the elevator apprenticeship. It is a 4-step process, and I will dive into each step individually. But first, you need to meet the basic requirements, which is to be 18 years of age, to be authorized to work in the U.S., and to have a high school diploma, GED, or equivalent. Once you meet those basic requirements, you have to find an open recruitment window and apply. Then there is an aptitude test and a tools assessment, which Doug referenced briefly, and then finally there's an interview. So as we can see on the next slide, the basic requirements. So as I mentioned, 18 years of age, eligible to work in the U.S., and have a high school diploma, GED, or equivalent. There are no background checks. So if you have a past background, that is not a problem for getting into this trade. in full transparency, once you're working for a particular elevator company, there might be certain customers who would require a background check. But the way that Otis manages this, and our competitors as well, we take volunteers for those assignments if we have a customer that requires a background check. And we do not penalize people for not signing up for those particular customers that require that background check. So on the next slide, we're going to talk about finding an upcoming recruitment window. So for Phoenix, Arizona, the recruitment window is from December 1st through December 15th. And on this slide, we do also have the point of contact, Christy Savala. She's the NEEP area coordinator. So if you have questions as you're working on your application about the application itself, you should reach out to Christy Savala. Her name and email address are here. If you decide that you definitely want to be an elevator mechanic, I do want to let you know that there are recruitment windows opening in different parts of the country all the time. So if you're open to relocating, or if you have to move due to a family matter, this is an opportunity that is definitely gives you geographic mobility. And even if you start the apprenticeship in Phoenix, after you've been in the trade for a year, you get your union card, and then you could apply to transfer to somewhere else in the country. So I think that's another great benefit of this trade, is that there's elevators all across the country. On the next slide, we'll talk here about how you actually apply. So a little bit later on, Jerry will actually pull up the NEEP website so you can see. We'll do a live demo of where you go to apply. So it is an online application, and the thing I wanted to share with you here is it's really important to have the copy of your high school diploma, or the copy of your GED, or any copy of your college transcript. Have that ready to go, because you're going to need to upload that as part of the application process. Another thing we do recommend is we recommend you apply as soon as you're ready, preferably near the beginning of the recruitment window. There are some locations, I know particularly New York City and San Francisco, are so highly competitive that the recruitment literally closes within minutes or a half hour of it opening. I don't think Phoenix is as competitive as San Francisco or New York City, but it definitely is in your best interest to get your things ready to go. And I would say if you can apply this week even, just in case. And then after you've applied, on the next slide, we talk about step 3 of the process, which is our aptitude test and tools assessment. So these are in-person, proctored, timed tests. Together, they take about 3 to 4 hours. The aptitude test includes questions on basic math, up through fractions, adding, subtraction, division, decimal points. And then there's also reading comprehension, and also a mechanical section. So some things with like gears and circuits, and maybe some things with like a counterbalance, a weight to like determine what would balance the scale. And to pass this portion of the test, you need a score of 70% or higher. There are practice resources available online. You can Google elevator industry aptitude test prep. If you Google that, you'll find some great resources available to you. And then the second part is the tools assessment. This is about 20 questions long and takes just about 15 minutes. So this part is all about identifying hand tools. So for example, being able to read a tape measure, knowing what a level looks like, knowing the difference between different kinds of wrenches, like an adjustable wrench or a closed-end wrench, pliers, crimpers, different kinds of saws. So these are all things that you should study up on You can also Google and find some sample tools assessment tests online, or even go into your local hardware store, take a walk around, refamiliarize yourself with some of those common hand tools. All right, and then the final step on the next slide is the interview. So if you score 70% or more on that aptitude test, then you are granted an in-person interview. It's about a 30-minute interview, and you're going to be interviewed by two people, one person from the union and one person from the Joint Apprenticeship Committee, which is someone from one of the major elevator companies. Every candidate is asked the same set of questions, and you might be asked questions such as, tell me about a time you had to work on a difficult team. How did you navigate those relationships while still making sure the job got done? Or you might be asked, tell me about a time when you had to do a job that you weren't familiar with and you didn't know what was expected of you. How did you manage through that situation? What I wanted to add here is, if you apply, please make sure that you let Jerry know, and also you can even please email me, reach out to me personally, because we at Otis want to support you throughout this application process. So if you apply, let us know. We will get together virtually and we'll do a test prep session together. And then if you pass that test and you get an interview, make sure you let Jerry know and you let me know, because we have virtual interview buddies for you who are really excited to, run a practice interview with you to help you be prepared and confident going into this interview. We can go on to the next slide. All right, just some final tips here. As a part of that interview, be prepared to talk about why you want to get into the elevator trade and also what you know about the trade. You've learned a lot during this presentation, and you can also do some more research yourself. You know that if you're in the elevator industry, you're helping build the skyline. You can talk about, your passion for keeping the riding public safe. You can talk about how you love to work with your hands and build things. Being in the elevator trade, it also combines electrical skills, mechanical skills, electronics. So you can talk about what you've learned about that. You can talk about how you're a continuous learner and someone who loves to continue to grow. So how you're excited about learning all these different skills that it takes to be an elevator technician, an elevator mechanic. You can also talk about, your interest in the career path and the ability to develop a lifelong career in this trade. So, you've learned a lot just today to help you get ready for that interview. And we'll go on to the next slide. So are you a good fit for this trade? So if you love working with your hands, if you love working on your team and communicating with customers, then this might be a great place for you to grow your career. And what is Otis looking for? Well, we're looking for people who are ready to learn, who care about quality, who care about safety, who are going to, learn and grow and build their career with us. So that's what we're looking for. And now we'll go on to the final slide. In a minute here, we're going to open it up for questions, but my contact information is here on this slide, christine.vanek@otis.com. If you apply for this apprenticeship, please do let me know. We are so passionate at Otis about supporting candidates throughout the process. So we definitely want to know if you apply so that we can continue to support you throughout your application. But if you do have technical questions specifically about how to apply, or you're not clear on one of the application questions, then you should reach out to NEEP. So you can reach out to the 1-800 number here on this slide, or if you go back to prior in the presentation, there was Christy Savala's contact information. She's the NEEP local area coordinator for Phoenix, so she's also a great resource for you. So Jerry is going to pull up the NEEP website now so that we can demo for you where you would actually go to apply. So we're going to demo that application now, and please start also thinking of any questions that you have for me or Twinkie or Doug, because we're going to open up the floor for questions in just a moment here as well.
Christy, so we currently don't have anyone on the broadcast, so consider this a bit of a timeout. I'll come back and edit this portion. Are you looking for me to actually pull up the website and go through it?
Yeah, we could just pull up the website and then you'll hit about and then careers, and we don't have to go much further than that. I just want to make sure we show them, where they click to actually apply.
Okay, let me pull it up first. Don't worry, I was taking notes of the timestamps and whatnot so we can come back and edit this. So you said, let me share the screen. And I'm going to share a window. I'm going to share the website. All right, so hold on. Let me remove this banner. So I'm going to remove myself and then count down to 5 and just kind of take it away and kind of direct me of what you want me to do with the website.
Sure. All right, so we're on the home page of the NEEP website, and in the upper left, there's a little menu bar. So we're going to click on that menu bar. It says home and then about. So if we hover over about, we can go to the careers button. That's the first one there in that about section. So we'll click on careers. And then on that careers page, we will scroll down a little bit. Yep, right there. So in that middle column, you can see near the bottom of the page, there's the NEEP logo with the circle there. And that's where you click to apply, because it says all other applications. New York is separate, it has its own link, but for all other applications, we would click there on NEEP. So Jerry, if you want to click on that button as well. Yep, so then we can see all of the open windows here, and we are broadcasting this right now on November 30th, and the Phoenix recruitment window opens up tomorrow on December 1st. So you can't see it here yet, but if you go on tomorrow, or if you're watching this a week from now, it will be live and you'll be able to see that Phoenix recruitment application here. So yeah, that's the demo.
Thank you so much, Christy. We're going to bring Twinkie and Doug back onto the broadcast. Well, firstly, I want to thank each of you for your time, energy, and expertise. It was great. It was a great presentation, very informative. You definitely did a great job of expressing the interest and your passion for the jobs. I know personally, if I wasn't currently within my life's passion, working within my life's passion now, I'd be applying for this job myself. So thank you for sharing that so much. Again, if you are out in the audience, feel free to drop a question in the comments or email me. I will be sure to leave my email address in the comments as well. So I'll be able to come back to this and kind of receive and get your questions answered by our experts. But Doug and Twinkie, again, thank you so much for your input today. We just wanted to give you an opportunity if there was any other insight, ideas, any comments you wanted to share before we sign off.
The only thing I would share is that, being a part of some of these interviews, I think it really does make a difference if people come in prepared, right? I would say, look, you guys, when you guys are applying for the industry, you already know what you're strong at. Be confident and be able to articulate what you're good at. Like the fact that it's okay, and it's okay if you're not a good test taker, right? We're looking for people that are problem solvers. That doesn't necessarily mean being able to answer multiple choice questions. It's being able to take things, looking at it from a different perspective and basically putting it back together. The other thing is if this is really an industry that's of interest for you, I have seen, I would say, a need for more certified welders, and there are classes that you can take in local community colleges to get your certifications. And so my suggestion is to get your certification, and when it comes up in the interview process, let people know, because that'll help with your point scoring too, as you're getting ranked as an apprentice. So I'll leave that with you, and I appreciate Jerry, Christy, for inviting me to be a part of this, and Doug too. So that's it.
Yeah, thank you very much, Jerry. Twinkie really kind of said it best. Be yourself. We're really looking for people that can communicate well and present themselves well. The interaction with our field technicians, with our customers, oftentimes is the greatest direct interaction we have with our customers. And the way you communicate and present yourself means a lot. It really does. And so we look for that when we talk to people.
Thank you. So, Christy, I just want to go back a bit to something that you mentioned earlier. There's some high-level points just to reiterate. High school diploma and/or GED the high school equivalent. We confirm that there are no background checks unless there's a particular customer or client who is requesting of that, but it's not going to prevent anyone from getting into the apprenticeship program or into the industry itself. We already outlined it's great pay, great benefits, longevity. Buildings are going to keep going up. Elevators are going to be needed until we kind of figure out this the teleporting thing. We haven't figured out just yet, but for now we have to use elevators. So there's always going to be a need to build them and repair them, right? So it sounds like this is a career with great longevity and someone that can spend a lifelong in this lucrative and often fun career.
Absolutely. And, we were speaking specifically to the elevator apprenticeship and the pathway as a mechanic today, but I can tell you that if you're watching this and you're interested in communications or finance or HR, or if you are in college becoming an engineer, or if you are a software engineer, or if you know how to code, we have all those kinds of jobs at Otis as well. And, the elevator industry is a great space to be in. So we would love to have you.
Well, thank you so much for, again, everyone from participating in today's program. We will be sure to communicate the links that we shared earlier so that, those that are interested can apply. Those that may be, just curious, they can go back and watch this broadcast and learn a little bit more about the industry. We will provide your contact information so they can reach out to you directly. But we do want you all to pay close attention, follow up on it, do your own investigative work. If you find someone that is in the industry, well, we got 3 currently. If you find anyone in your normal course of the day, feel free to reach out, ask some questions about it, get a better understanding of what it's like to be a part of this industry. Again, it's obviously a lucrative one. It is a small one, but the opportunity is infinite. Again, as long as we keep building buildings and as long as elevators are going to be needed, there will be a need for mechanics to service those elevators. And again, many of us, Otis should be a household name. Whenever we step on an escalator or an elevator, that is the name we see. So there's some history to it and a great opportunity for some individuals to become a part of it. So hopefully we are doing what we can at the Greater Phoenix Urban League to communicate these opportunities and not just talk about jobs, but talk about career opportunities that can have a generational impact. And hopefully we will continue to accomplish that mission with this work that we're doing here. Christy, I'll leave you with the final thoughts if you'd like to have them.
Just thank you, Jerry, for hosting us. And it is a great career and a great field. And so we hope you found this helpful. And even if it's not for you, you probably have a family member or a friend. So do manage to like, comment, and share so that we can spread the word about this amazing career opportunity. And thank you, Twinkie and Doug, for joining this evening to share the message as well.
Well, thank you, Christy. Thank you, Doug. Thank you, Twinkie. And again, out in the audience, apply. Elevator Industry Apprenticeship Program. 2 weeks. You have 2 weeks to apply. Get in there and help pivot the course of your career. Have a good evening, everybody.
Thank you. Have a great evening. Bye.
Bye.